Warning: if you might be offended by foul language or off-color jokes, now is the time to kindly f*** off.
Hello and welcome back to another episode of the Londoner Calling Pubcast. As always, I'm joined with Barry Tate. Barry, how we doing today?
Fantastic.
Love that. You're off a great weekend, aren't you? Yeah, Chelsea.
We've had this St. Patrick's Day weekend just finished. I'm knackered.
Yeah.
Anyway, you do the talking.
All right, I'll do the talking. Today, on today's episode, we are going to first talk to our friend Dominic Zito, who was responsible basically for our big interview today, which is Chelsea's player Paul Canoville will join us later in the show. We talk about his journey with Chelsea, with mental health, with just everything in life, racial abuse that he went through coming up at Chelsea, his injuries, certain matches, his destiny we even talk about that he touches on. It's a really great interview. You're really going to want to stick around and tune in for it. Barry, let's start with just us here as we always do. I mentioned it was a great weekend for you, and that wasn't just because it was St. Patrick's Day weekend. Chelsea into another cup semifinal, beating Leicester 4-2. How are you feeling?
No, I'm feeling good. I'm glad to get to the semis, but as I said,
you drew City.
We've drawn City, which you got to face them sometime.
You got to beat them. If you didn't draw them now, you probably would have gotten them in the final, right?
Either way, it's at Wembley.
It is.
Okay, so that's something. But we've done okay against City this year. I'm not shitting myself.
Yeah, no, I think it's 2 legs. It's 2 legs for, right?
No.
Is it just one?
No.
Oh, that's Carbo Cup. I mixed those two up. Apologies. Carbo Cup semis are 2 legs.
Me, get someone else to do it, can you? Christ.
Yeah. Anyways, so the other 2 semifinalists, obviously, Man United beat Liverpool in what was arguably the game of the season. Let's be honest. That was brilliant.
Really good, yeah.
Really. Liverpool won that game 2 times over and just...
And as much as I hate Man, you never want to win. I'm glad they won it because I'm sick of Liverpool winning this, winning that, and just winning it. And it's always against Chelsea.
I'm really happy because I think Ten Hag's going to stay there longer, and I want that. As an opposing fan, I kind of want him to stay in the job.
Man, you found that's it. We're on the way. You can't build on fuck all.
Well, he was talking after the game about that. He actually continued to complain about the Arsenal game 6 months ago about how they had a wrong call, and that could have been their building point.
But that was the game of the season. I think so far that one.
I agree. I think it's definitely up there. I think it's definitely up there. There was a little. So again, we'll just wrap that part up. Coventry versus Man United, Chelsea versus Man City, semifinals of the FA Cup set. There was a little bit of Premier League this weekend. We're not going to talk about it for too long, which is really lucky for Tottenham fans because trust me, I can go for an hour here. They lost to Fulham 3-0. Their direct rivals right now for 4th place, Villa, picked up a point against West Ham.
So Tottenham lost to Fulham 3-0?
Yes.
Did they?
Yes.
Oh, I knew they did. I just wanted to...
I know. Come on, give me some. Come on, give me some.
I'll text every man and his dog.
I'll text everybody. I wouldn't go too hard, but I can't help myself.
It's funny because when Tottenham lose, I'll text them on their fan. I've never got a reply from any of them yet.
Really?
They never reply when they lose.
What about when they win?
When they win, they're on at me, and I'll give them a reply. I'll tell them all to fuck off.
That's because you're a classy lad, Barry.
At least I'll reply.
You're a classy lad, Barry. Much more classier than these said Tottenham fans.
You'd think they'd be used to it, wouldn't you?
You would think, right? Anyways, we'll stop absolutely bantering them now. Tottenham lost. Villa gained an important point, and that puts them 3 points clear of Tottenham. Villa do have played one more game than Spurs. The other news I want to touch on is Nottingham Forest today. 4-point deduction, and I think that puts Luton above them now, 22 points above. Now Forest is 21. Everton, who also are on 25 points, this is being recorded on the 18th of March. By the 31st, they're set to hear if they're going to lose a second batch of points, which is crazy.
Which they will.
They lost, they got back, they might lose again. So Luton, they're alive. They are alive here, and I think they're one of the most fun teams in the Premier League. They did it again this weekend with another 89th minute equaliser.
If you're a gambler and you've got money and you want to bet someone who's coming in third, you can't. You've got no clue at the moment who you think, they're going to go.
I think Burnley actually won this weekend too to put them up to 17 points. They're still 5 off of Nottingham Forest or Luton at this point. I still think it'd be really tough for them. I think Sheffield, even though they've played a game less, I don't see them winning much. But that 3rd relegation spot, Everton are in the mix, Forest are in the mix, and Luton are in the mix. If you had to give me one,
we mentioned it, Luton, they threw it away. They were 3-0 up.
You're on the Wednesday. Yeah,
if you're 3-0 up and you know you've got a chance of going down, like I said, how the fuck can you let a team score 4 goals in the second half?
Second half. No. Yeah. Luton, they do score goals. They're actually, I told you this earlier, Luton are the only team to score more than 2 goals against Arsenal in the Premier League this year. So they've got firepower. They're good on set pieces. Their defending is just shambolic, and it costs them again and again and again. So if you had to give me one team that goes down out of Forest, Villa, and Everton, who would it be? I said Villa. I meant Luton. Forest, Villa, and Forest, Everton, and Luton. Good night. I'm sorry.
Evidently, he wants Villa to go down.
Yeah,
okay?
I mean,
so we got that on record. He fucking hates Villa.
Sorry, Villa fans. That wasn't meant for you. I was talking about y'all in the top 4 race, and I threw you there. My bad.
Forest, Everton,
and Luton. One team to go down. Who do you got?
Who would I want? Or
no? Who do you think?
Well, it might be Everton only because of the points are going to get deducted. I don't want them to.
Yeah.
You know, so if it wasn't, I think Luton maybe. But
that is kind of a loaded question. It's tough to know without knowing all the point deduction and everything. And again, this morning was when Forest dropped points. So that was our Premier League wrap up there.
It's got to be horrible to play for them 4 or 5 teams at the bottom, because how can you play with any confidence whatsoever? You're shitting yourself to make a mistake.
At the same time, though, could you not reverse that and be like, I have to give it my all because everything matters that much more?
Yeah, you give it your all, but if you haven't got the confidence and you're shitting yourself, you know,
after a while it just gets to you. All those losses they stack up, and
I don't think the
belief, as the losses stack, the belief decreases. Yeah,
I mean, you can fight, and they just got to fight. It's all about fighting now. It's not about confidence, because you haven't got any. Shouldn't fucking have any either where you are. It's about fighting.
Yeah. And that'll do it, guys. That's our wrap-up for our little chat here, but make sure you stick around. Great interview with Dominic and an even better interview with Paul coming up. Really, really excited about what we got for you guys today, so make sure you stick around for the whole episode. Today we are joined with Dominic Zito. Dominic, first of all, we have some lovely bottles of liquor on the table, and we will get to that, but you are the reason that Paul Canoville basically was able to join us later in the show today. Can you talk about a little bit your organization, what you do, how you do that, and then, of course, we're going to talk about the bottles of liquor on the table here, too.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, thanks for having me.
Of course.
I'm part of the shedding crew. You know, BJ, they bought Canners over a few years ago, wanted to do it again, but it's expensive. So, you know, I own an insurance agency, Decisive Insurance Agency in Richardson, and we wanted to do some marketing, and it was a good way to bring a player over. We hosted a Q&A at Herman Marshall Tasting Room in Wiley, and it did the job that we were hoping for, you know, outside of doing our regular marketing. It was just something different that we haven't tried before. And because it's a success, we want to do more, you know, and we're going to bring Paul back out again. We're even looking at, you know, Frank Sinclair hopefully would be an option as well.
Other former players.
Yeah.
Chelsea. If you could bring any current player from Chelsea squad over that you would want to interview, who would it be?
Reece James.
Really?
Yeah.
I would say Thiago Silva, personally. I think his experience would have been great to get to know.
He could only pick 3 players out of the current squad because the rest don't speak English.
Well, there is that too.
Fair play.
There's a few I can't even pronounce their names.
Honestly, don't.
Another thing I'm involved in is Herman Marshall whiskey. We rebranded recently. I've got the hat on.
Is it hard to get people? Because as I said, I get people all the time coming in, put this beer on, have this whiskey, have this flavour. How many flavour fucking vodkas do you want? You haven't got the room.
You haven't
got the room.
Exactly. Yeah. It's tough. And you know, I mean, the crew at HM, that they're not necessarily going out. You know, you pay for a distributor, or you hire a distributor, they buy your stuff, and it's their job to get it out. And they're the ones working, and you know, we're promoting, and everyone's going out talking about it. But you're right, there's so many different types of bourbon. It's about getting people to try it, right? Wow. And honest opinion, it's not for everyone. Yeah. I'm a gin drinker. Really? You know, we're from England,
Same
right?
I'm a gin drinker.
I enjoy good bourbon personally.
Exactly. Yeah. And I like their bourbon, right? But for me, their gin, which is going to come out here in the next few weeks, is probably some of the best gin I've ever had. Yeah. So you know, right. that for
excited.
me.
Excited.
Exactly. The gin
you're
is
lucky
what
we're
I'm
not
excited.
in London. I'll tell you
I know.
Well, as I said, when I was down the market, when Harry Potter came out, I went down the market. God knows when Harry Potter came out, I was visiting England.
Early 2000s,
and I was down the market, and you know Harry Potter, they released the video and the whatever else all on the same day. You couldn't get it anywhere. So it was all coming out, the book, the video was all coming out on the Saturday.
Yeah.
So the Friday before, I said, I'm talking to one of the fellas down the market, I'm visiting Jimmy Scott. I said, hey Jim, do you still get the shoplifters? He said, do we still get the shoplifters? He said, you know that Harry Potter CD that's coming out tomorrow? I said, yeah. He pulled out a box and says, how many do you want? I could be doing that with you. I could be doing that with your drinks.
With the drinks. Yeah. Well, The market, Berwick Street Market, is that what you're talking about? Yeah, yeah. See, and we kind of grew up in the same area.
So you guys get back a little bit, huh?
I used to go to Berwick Street Market as a kid. That's where we used to get our fruit and veg.
I remember you always put the apple down.
Right, there you go. I was probably stealing your apples.
Probably nicking one.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's go on with you. I'm sorry, I interrupt you.
No, you're good. So yeah, it is. It's very difficult to get the brand out there because you're right. So many people have their own likes.
It's hard to get any customers, no matter what you do. There's a million people doing the same thing.
Yeah.
So the only thing you can do to better them, I would imagine, obviously the pricing is a big deal. It's just the service you give, and you follow up. I get reps coming in here, and I'll have a chat and laugh with them because I've been there, so I'm always joking and messing around because I've done that job, and then they come in, and then when they find out that I actually it's not for me, mate. They drop me. They don't call me again. They come in. They kind of blame me. Don't fucking do that. Yeah. I might have gone back to you, wanker.
You guys obviously probably never dealt with the markets and stuff, but they were some of the friendliest salespeople you'll ever meet on the market store. They would always throw in, here's a bunch of bananas for you. You know, my mum, because she's walking around with 3 kids. It's a different.
You never came to my store, I wouldn't have fucking done it. Bollocks.
But that was the that is sales right there, right? You buy from people, and you're buying a relationship, and that's what we try.
And you're selling a
exactly, selling. And for us, our customers, they're like family.
I don't get, what's the word, philosophical and all that. And sometimes, honestly, I think, okay, why were we put on this earth? Okay, it's not about how big your house is, what car you can drive, and
not
that.
At all.
Really, to me, and it really is it's just meeting people and just
I think being happy,
making someone smile and helping someone. I'm not being. I mean,
things
I can't
for
do it all the
others
time.
gives you. For me personally, like you talk about gift giving or gift receiving, like holidays. I love gift giving because I want to see other people smile. I love making other people happy. Like that's a huge thing for me. And if that means I have to put my troubles to the side and put on a brave face to make sure that I can go make someone else's day.
There's nothing better than when
that's
you make
awesome.
someone. It's not corny.
Awesome.
When you make someone smile and have a good connection
awesome.
or helped them, it's a good feeling.
It's corny,
that's
but
if
there's
you're a
nothing
decent
wrong with
person.
It. Yeah, I wouldn't know much about that according to you.
No, you wouldn't.
Yeah, see,
I
had to beat him to it. I have to beat him to it because I knew it was coming.
You would know about rejection. You were talking about rejection.
I would.
The amount of birds that have turned him down. Oh, fucking hell. He's 2 weeks away before becoming a puff. He's been turned down that many times.
And as a Chelsea fan growing up in central London,
and Arsenal was the nearest ground to him.
That was. It was.
No, sorry, we all make mistakes.
Well, every one of my friends was an Arsenal fan.
Sounds like you were surrounded by good company.
And oh man, they used to bully the crap out of us.
As we did, Barry and I do every episode.
Well, they were the better team for most of it, weren't they?
Yeah.
Especially early 2000s. It was us and Man United.
I moved over in 2005, right?
Oh,
so I moved
we
over.
Just came off Invincible.
That's what I mean. I moved over right in the era where we were starting to move up there, and it's like
you mean a Russian oligarch came in and started pumping money into your club?
Call it whatever you want. It doesn't
exactly
really matter.
It is.
Success, isn't
we call
it
saviour.
What do you call it when Man City do it? What do you call it when Man City do it?
Oh, they're getting arrested for it, aren't they? How many balls have they broke? They're going to
117
lose them
charges.
trophies. All that trophy.
Really?
There's a nice trophy cabinet going to be for sale in Manchester.
Oh, I know. I'm waiting for them to cash in so we get last year's prem, right?
Tottenham are going to buy it. Oh, yeah. You might as well have the cabinet. Yeah.
The funniest part of the whole Kane thing, too, is that in Bayern are like 10 plus points behind the lead. They've won the Bundesliga 8 straight years.
I know.
And now Leverkusen are unbeaten. And the first year that Harry Kane goes to a team that's a guaranteed trophy, he's out of the cup. He's likely going to lose the Bundesliga. And there's no way he gets past Arsenal in the Champions League. Am I right? So...
Harry
I like that.
Harry Kane needs a bottle of Marshall vodka, doesn't he?
He's used to bottles. He's used to bottles.
If Harry Kane does not win a trophy this year, he's going to donate a bottle to him.
There we go.
I'll pay for the shipping. You donate.
I'll have 2 bottles this year. Don't worry.
We've got him covered.
I think that's good, Dominic. I want to thank you again for coming on here, sharing some laughs and the banter. Again, guys, check out Herman's. Bourbon is out. Vodka coming.
As a Chelsea fan, we've had BJ and he's fucking boring as fuck.
And again, we've got the interview with Paul Canoville coming up, so thank you again for saying that up. I'm really excited about that interview, so stay tuned and listen for that. Thanks, y'all. Today, Barry, we got a special guest, the Chelsea legend, Paul Canoville. Paul, how are we doing today?
You know what, good morning to all your listeners. You know what, this is very, very early for me to do a podcast. Usually I do my podcast in the evening, but I'll do my best. As you on Arsenal, but me and Barry, we're comfortable.
You can sit a little closer
at the
to
moment.
that side.
We'll be comfortable. So
I'll
I'm sorry,
make it easy for
Barry.
you. You move your lips, I'll do the talking.
There we go, Barry.
There we go. All right, so Paul, 103 games over 5 years for Chelsea. signing from Hillingdon Borough, what was that like, having Chelsea call you and tell you that they're signing you?
It's funny that you said that, because I just met a good colleague who was at Hillingdon Borough with me, and both of us went on trials down to Southampton. Laurie McMenemy was the manager there. They had the two Wallace brothers and George Lawrence, and we was staying in some digs. And I remember, man, I was on the left, just crossing balls for George and so forth. It was brilliant. But nobody said anything. Not even Laurie McMenemy. Nobody says anything. So you return back to Hillingdon Borough thinking you're not good enough. And at that time, Chelsea had come to and asked me to trials down for a week down at the bridge, and I went. Don't get me wrong, but same thing happened again. Nobody says anything. In that week, I returned back to Hillingdon Borough thinking I'm not good enough. Ron Stewart was the scout at the time. He come back. He said, "What's wrong?" And I said, "Well, nobody said anything." He said, "No, we're interested. Come back again." In that week, it's funny because it wasn't that I was cheating. I was just making everything simple.
How do you mean that?
When I say I didn't want to lose the ball, because, you know what I mean, you're on the spot. So I dropped the shoulder, gave the ball back and so forth, but I wasn't doing what I was meant to do, and I'm an attacker. I'm a left winger. I take on players. It was only when the last Friday, the guy who was right back at the time, Ray Wilkins' brother, he told me, "Canners, man, what are you doing?" I said, "What do you mean?" He said, "No, man, just take me on. They don't want to see that. Just take me on."
Wow. So the opposing player was the one that said, "Hey, look."
I'm not giving him the first team, but he would told me, "Look, man." And from there, it was like, dropped the shoulder, went past him, and that's when I built my confidence.
Yeah.
And it was the same Friday that I was called into the office by John Neal, the late John Neal, bless him. And they signed me for the remaining 7 months.
Yeah.
That I had to prove myself, and it went from there.
How did it feel when because after all that not knowing and going and not knowing anything and going back and thinking it's over, how did it finally feel to get that confirmation, almost that them telling you are good enough, you can make it, and offering you a contract?
To be honest, I didn't even think that, because it had been a dream from the age of 5 to be a professional footballer. You got to understand them at that time, the difficulties. My dad left when I was 1. My mum's bringing up 2 kids by herself. She came through the Windrush as a young black girl, and it was so difficult for a black family. And here, the son, your mum, obviously parents want the best for their kids, don't they? So mum wanted me to be a policeman or a doctor, and there I was not into any education but sports. Football I was good at, and you know what, I wasn't even coached or trained. I was a natural. But from the age of 5, and I'll tell you what it was, watching Leeds United, oh my God, on the black and white TV, that was the team. Oh man, that's the team.
Era.
That was it, man. Eddie Gray, Jay Charlton, Alan Clark, and I thought, oh man, that's the team. And here I was at Chelsea and found out they didn't like Leeds at all. So,
No, they do not.
you know what I mean? It's like, I've got to keep that stomp.
Funny, I mentioned Alan Clark in the last podcast. Sniffer Clark, they called him, didn't they?
Mate.
Sniffer.
Couldn't touch them Boston players, really.
You wouldn't have known him or seen him, but honestly, he was anything loose in that box, he was on it.
Trust me, I just loved them. I don't know what it was about them. For the team that they played in white, and I'm watching black and white, it was like, that's the team. Never been Ellen Road.
Okay.
And I'm supporting Leeds, you know what I mean? So how does that happen? How does that work? So
So you started as a Leeds supporter as a kid?
I was going to ask you that. Did you really?
Yeah.
Go ahead,
Just
Barry.
because it wasn't them on the telly. They were the team at the time anyway.
They were the team in the 70s, 75, so...
We had the Leeds fans in here because they're on top of the championship.
They're playing well.
Well, I hope they make the top 2 because they got a good fan base.
They're too good to be in the championship. I think that
there's 2 in a minute. Leicester and Leeds
Leicester
as
and
well.
Leeds, both 2 teams that you wouldn't think, especially with
exactly.
Leicester's recent success.
Come on now.
We don't not success this weekend. Chelsea semi-finalists now.
Well, we make it hard for ourselves. I ain't gonna lie to you, man.
Yeah, you did.
Because I wasn't even happy when we went 2-0 up. I still wasn't
They should have been 4-0 up by half
Sterling has a couple.
No disrespect. Sterling will always get opportunities, always get a chance. But
He's smart. He's a smart player.
It wasn't happening for him. It wasn't from the
And
penalty.
he's done well. He's done some good goals for us.
Sterling,
It's not like he's been playing shit for the last 2 years.
Thank you.
You know, he's
I
getting
think-
near the end of his career. To be honest, not yet.
I think he was
getting there.
partially a scapegoat at Man City. I think he was the third highest goal scorer ever under Pep Guardiola, which
Right.
when you think of the names that Pep has coached, right? Look at the Barcelonas and the Bayern Munichs and the rosters he had. To be at that level under Pep for as long as he was, it takes a special talent to even just play that long at that level. So I agree. I think he could have been a little scapegoated
I
there.
don't know why it's weird. You can get some players, the crowd just love them, they can do no wrong, no matter what. And then you
Cole
get
Palmer,
some, they've only got to put a little bit wrong and they're on them. And he's one of them, unfortunately,
We're
it seems.
difficult to please, don't get me wrong, Chelsea, because we've had that rumour that we've always won
High
things.
expectations.
It's
You've never
very
felt that,
high.
have you?
No,
I feel it right now.
No,
I feel
yeah,
it right
right.
now. I feel it right now.
It's always
weeks.
been like that.
Yeah.
So no matter what players you bring in, you expect the most, and that's what Chelsea fans are. As for us at Chelsea at the time, for me, it was the first maybe two seasons, yes, of enjoying and sharing and showing what I can do and the ability that I had. Don't get me wrong, as you already know, Chelsea fans, the majority made it difficult for me. And it wasn't a confident booster. Obviously, every time I started, it was like, oh my God, this negative.
But did it sometimes give you that, I'll show them bastards?
You know what? It was a case of, for me, if I got on the side, that I was concerned about my first touch. If my first touch was on, I'm going to have a brilliant game. If it wasn't, they're going to give me hell.
Yeah.
And that's what I didn't want to give them more ammo. Oh, they gave me hell. It's funny when I used to say warm up in John Neil and Ian McNeil, the coach, that was there, Cannons warm up, son. And I had to go past the East End and go down to Matthew Harding, which is now the Matthew Harding, behind the goal. Obviously, that time we had a track and the green that was
Did you
behind
know
the
they
goal.
had a running track?
Did you know?
Yeah,
No, they had a running track.
Greyhounds, they have greyhound races during the week.
Oh, nice.
It was good to
yeah.
watch when you were there. You could see anything because it was
Beautiful,
they
wasn't
were
it?
playing miles away.
So there was a big space between the goal and the actual fans, but that you can hear them.
No,
you can hear
it was a
them.
great ground, don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
The big ground, where they've obviously changed it now, it's closer. But that's how it was. It was warming up, go down to the end, behind the goal and warmed up. But at the time, I was receiving this abuse, this racist abuse every time.
Every time.
And I didn't want to go back, return. And I remember I used to be warming up, stretching, the longest stretch ever. Cannons, come on. Give me cannons, come on. And I swear I ignored, only because I didn't want to return back past the East End. But that was many a time. Difficulties, as I said, it wasn't a confident booster.
Yeah.
Shedding gave me some stick. Yeah, Nissan,
And you mentioned it now, and we see that more today with social media. And I actually have a quote from someone said, I don't know if I would have survived in today's social media age like players are. Do you know who said that?
Who's that?
Michael Jordan.
Wow.
Michael Jordan himself, the GOAT of basketball, one of the greatest athletes of ever, said that I don't think I could survive the social media generation, so I can't imagine living it for you.
Yeah, and you can imagine that. The social media, if we had that
I don't
time.
do social media. I don't know how to work computers.
It's for the best. You're for the
No,
best.
I don't want to.
I think for my case, because what was going on around me, nobody kind of came to me and asked if I was all right. And that was really hard because I had to do it alone. And doing it alone meant going home thinking over, what am I doing wrong? And I wasn't doing nothing
You
wrong.
weren't doing anything wrong.
You know what I mean? But I thought that was...
How old were you?
I was 20,
When
19,
he was
20.
19 when he joined Chelsea.
Going up,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? But that was, it was going on thinking, and I was always in denial because my family, man, why don't you leave, man? They're racist. And I'm telling them, no, they're not that. They're right. It's just some stupid fan. Nah, Paul, leave them. And I'm like, this was us fighting.
You're living your dream too of being a pro footballer, so
living that
being
But if
in
you
that
would have
back and
moved, it would
forth.
have been the same elsewhere.
That's what I'm trying to say. It's the same thing I
If you
said.
weren't at Chelsea.
What happens then?
Different accent.
Yeah.
There you go.
I want to go back to your debut. So April 1982 at Selhurst Park, Crystal Palace away. You come on for Clive Walker, the goal scorer of the day. You're up 1-0. What was that moment like for you to make your professional debut for Chelsea?
Yeah, receiving that day, I was so excited. Getting the news. Yeah, you're being subbed because he told me the Friday. Was it what day was it in the week? he told me, saying that, yep, you're subbing. So it's about phoning mum, I need my suit, I need some shirt and tie, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And travelling on the coach, phoning every family member, cousin, you'll be there. You've got to be there.
Everyone's coming to see you.
Yeah,
It's a big
you got to be
day.
there, man. And, you know, just going to that coach was like, yeah, thinking, how's this game going to go? Because we do that.
Yeah.
As a player, you think, yeah, what I can do, you know what I can do. If I take them on, I said, yeah, if I give them the chance, do it. Mm-hmm. And for me, it was always that. You're given a chance to make the most of it. Mm-hmm. Got there, got at the ground, got into the changing room, you hear the fans are coming in, it's like, yeah. And your teammates, they're the canners, all the best, son. All the best if you get on, all the best, and that was great, you know.
They're hyped for you.
Definitely. Warmed up inside, and then went outside, sat down in the dugout, boys were on the pitch, all ready to go. Referees blow the whistle, it's great. Mm-hmm. And you're watching, and I'm watching around the stadium, taking in the atmosphere. Then I start to watch the right back, because that's who I've been playing against.
Yeah.
And I can see this boy ain't got no pace. He's slow as fuck.
You're ready.
So I'm ready.
You're ready to
I
feast.
know. If I get on there, I'm ready.
And you came on for the goal scorer. Was there added pressure replacing the man who scored?
That was pressure. I don't know how John made that decision, but he did. And it didn't go down too well. So even warming up beforehand, it was drastic.
The same as always.
Same as always. Mm-hmm. Great player, don't get me wrong.
Yeah, I think that was his 34th goal of the season. He scored that.
Great player. But yeah, that was the first I got that. How can I say?
What was the first touch like when you got on the pitch?
It wasn't even the first touch, to be honest. Mm-hmm. It was to receive that reception.
Yeah.
From, because I thought at the time it was Crystal Palace fans that were haggling me and racially abused. Mm-hmm. But to turn around, it was the majority of my own fans. That was hard.
And you said you had all the family there too. Did you see that in the crowd when you came on?
No, I didn't even want to see that, because they heard it and everybody heard the abuse I got. Oh. So when I eventually got on the pitch, it must be the last 10 or whatever minutes, that I didn't move. I hugged the line.
Yeah.
And waited for the referee to blow his whistle.
Was England like that in general at that time? I mean, was it like Enoch Powell and all that stuff going on?
Yeah. I mean, I born South Formula 6. It was Asia, the Asians, and Dominicans and Jamaicans. And at that time, National Front. From St. Martin, my dad's Dominican. Okay. French, it's a French and Holland, Dutch, two halves. So yeah, growing up with National Front. And how frightening it was then, because it's like my mum didn't allow us to go out too often. She really kept us, me and my sister, in. But the one time there was a party, I asked her, and she allowed me to go, but I had to go with my sister. Oh, you can pain in the arse, innit? So she said, yeah, make sure you're back at this time, and you're, oh my God. It's kind of, the party's just starting, and your sister goes, Paul, we got to get back, Mummy. What?
We're just getting going, the party's getting fun.
I'm getting into some movements with the women, and yeah, all right, we're starting to make plans. But what it was at them time is when you walk past, you saw a car, and a car would slow down, and you saw the brake lights. You'd stop, because you knew what that was, and that was skinheads coming out of the car and attacking any black person. And you've got your sister, don't get me wrong, for me, you'd have to catch me.
Yeah.
But when you got your sister,
you gotta protect. You gotta protect.
So now you're gonna take the long way round.
Yeah.
I'm not frightened, but to walk
you
away
got
from it.
Smart.
Yeah, and your mum said that all the time as well. You're gonna have to turn your cheek.
In moments like that, did you have your mom's voice just playing in your head?
In football.
When you used to play at the weekends, which I know you did at Hillingdon, was it Hillingdon?
Yeah, Hillingdon. Don't get me wrong, didn't see that though, Barry. One time.
I never had my mum. I was brought up by a single mum with my grandparents, and no one ever saw me play football. When I was 11, someone saw me playing in the streets. They sent me for a trial at Chelsea at Hendon. Yeah. And I went to Hendon. I never had a pair of boots. I never played on the grass ever. I always played in the street.
Sure.
So we got a pair of boots, and I got on the bus to Stamford Bridge. They put me on a coach. They then drove me to Hendon. We did
that with the training grounds? Yeah.
And then I was 11. And then when I got back from Hendon, I got a letter a few weeks later. I didn't make it, but no one came with me. No one even knew where I was going. It was just that's how it was, wasn't
crazy.
it? It was on your own.
Different.
You were 11 years of age.
You explained exactly what I was trying to say. Where I am now with my foundation, the kids, and so far, I tell the mums to support their kids because my mum didn't understand football. She didn't understand any sport. I didn't have anybody that came and watched me as a family member, but everybody else had their dad or family there.
Honestly, I told you, that was the first time I cried.
Yeah.
I won my first medal. Everyone had their family there. I had nobody.
That's right.
Nobody. I cried.
And that's what I said.
Showing up is so important. It's so
because
important. Just seeing that face in a crowd, something familiar, gives you so much more belief in yourself, doesn't it?
Man.
But there's that. But you want them to see you. You know.
I want them to show you how good I am.
Yeah.
Mum, this is what this is all about.
This is what I've been doing. This is what I work on.
It was a case of that because everybody else, every family that was there, and not my family, was telling him, good game, son. Hey, you're going to go far. Thanks. Well done. Man of the match. Yep.
Did it mean anything to you?
It meant a lot because then, but what it was, it just fall in grace because I went home thinking, I want to talk to Mum. Mum had a great game. Have you done your chores? Oh, that's just shut you straight down.
It shows it because you're so excited. I've got all this stuff I want to tell you, and you just want to move on to the next thing.
Them West Indian single mums, they were harsh. They made sure you got everything. I know it.
Yeah, we didn't understand that. And don't get me wrong, you said it, bro. They were so disciplined. That's why they was brought up. But you couldn't bring that here to England.
You're glad for it now,
not with our kids. Oh yeah. Don't get me wrong. I went to the Caribbean at age 14. My mum took me to see my grandparents, both of them. You got to understand, Dad and Mum separated when I was 1. So to see my grandparents and be in that country, the Caribbean, I saw that discipline. I went, I should have been born here. I needed this.
You know, some of your coaches, as I said, kind of became your dad.
We talked about this.
They did.
Last
I
week
did. Because I didn't have anybody. Go and have a shot, son. And no one else said that to me.
It means something. It can really mean something.
I think someone must have said that to Desai the other morning when he had that one against Chelsea. Go on, son, have a shot. Make sure you're facing the right goal, mate.
Yeah, they should have said shoot at the right goal.
But you're right about that. I did. If I figure was for me at Colin Barnes, and I remember, I got myself in trouble at the age of 14. And the first time in my life, and don't get me wrong, my mates, they were all older than me. I was the youngest at them, and I was always wanted to follow them, get in trouble. And they said, no, Paul, you have got a talent.
Your mate said that to you?
Oh, yeah, man.
That's special, man. Having people that look out for you like that.
I didn't understand it, and I said, no, come on, man. And the one time I refused, I went and got caught. And some stupid burglary in a shop. It was ridiculous. I didn't need to do it.
You might have had the same thing as I do, because when growing up, once I was 14, the mates I hung out with, they were fine. I didn't go with the trouble once.
Right.
But when you're 11 and 12, you're trying to be one of the boys.
Yeah, exactly.
You want to be tough. You stand on the edge of the shed end and that.
On.
But I always knew I could never go and get in trouble because I know I'd let my mum and my nan down and my grandparents. I wouldn't for them. And they saved me because I can't. I couldn't face them. And you might have had the same thing.
That little voice.
It was, Mum, I had a second mum, and don't get me wrong, when that incident happened, the judge didn't even look at the first time and how behaved I was. He sent me down, and I was 4 months in a ball store. Jeez. And that was a wake-up call for me because this was freedom now taken away, and I mean taken away.
Yeah.
It was locked, like,
he didn't even think about it, he just sent it.
I was sending letters to him, and please get me out of here, please get me, I'll be great, I'll be good, I'll be good. You don't know. I mean, same thing that Terry on. I played for the team. The same Friday I came in there, same Sunday we had a game inside this ball store because the team used to come inside. And who wants to play? I played. But we won 10-0. I scored 9 of the goals.
Good Lord.
And the screw was there. He said straight. He said, "Oh, you're good. Why don't you go and play for Chelsea?" And I'm like, "Who's the fuck is Chelsea?" You know what I mean? And
I know that sense well. Yeah.
So there I was. So I came out. I eventually came out, and that's when my mum, I called second mum, said, "Paul, now you need to take your football serious." And she was right. Found a work job in Hildenborough, semi-pro. I was there 16, and I loved this manager, the young boy, Colin Barnes, because he put me straight into the youth team. And the parents, they didn't like it.
He had faith
"What's
in
going
you.
on? He's only just coming. You brought him in. He's in the front." And he told them straight, because he's that fucking good. And if you don't like it, get lost.
And how did that feel for you to have a manager that not only backed you so much, but defended you as well from the critics and saying, well, he just got and he's saying, no, he is that guy. And how did that feel? Because
he was good.
For you to have that influence, you're like, how did that feel?
You would never have been able to play for Arsenal in them years. No, do you know why? I'll tell you why. Because they only took shit players in.
No.
You wouldn't have. I'm telling you.
I didn't even know about Arsenal. Ain't gonna lie. I mean, I was 12 and I went to my first football match and had to beg my mum. Oh my God, this white guy said, I'll take him, he'd be safe. And mum knew about the hooliganism. She said, no, he's not going out there. No, I want safety for my son. Mum had to beg her. The game I went to, Loftus Road, QPR.
Okay.
Oh, nice.
And this is how it was. Obviously, turnstiles. Yeah, I was jumping up and down. I couldn't see the game. And I jumped up and down, and this white guy looked at me and said, "Oh, your dad ain't playing too well." And I didn't understand what he meant by that. And I'm thinking, how did you know my dad? But my dad plays cricket. Then I was just about to answer, and the guy that brought me said, "No, come on, let's walk away, Paul. Come on, let's go." He was meant Clyde Best. They was playing West Ham.
I was talking about him the other day. I was talking to West Ham.
I'd done a documentary. Oh, man, he was like a poster.
Yeah, he was.
And he took some abuse. And I was watching, that's what the fan meant. And I was like,
that guy protected you too.
Now to come and sign for Chelsea at the age of 81 then, age of 19, 20.
Yeah.
I was playing in reserves. Didn't hear anything. Didn't hear no abuse. And it's funny, like Barry mentioned, when I was playing for Hill and the Borough, the only one time I received, we was playing Dover. I was roasting the right back, roasting him. And he went in my ear, "You keep doing that again, I'll break your fucking legs, you black bastard." Yeah. And I ain't gonna lie, I was shitting scared.
Really?
I was so scared. Stopped playing football.
You just kind of...
I stopped playing in the game. And that was the first time. Second half now, I'm quiet, giving the ball back. Francis Joseph, that used to play at Wimbledon, he looked at me, "What's going on? Cannons, roast them again."
Yeah.
"No, Joe. What do you mean?" "He said it's going to break my legs." "He fucking said what?" And
you have no idea how
back in the day.
Yeah.
Brother, man, Joe
you
went
talk
into
about
it.
playing for Chelsea, but you look at the Hillingdon and North Borough.
Before
you look at
that,
Sunday League football.
Yeah.
If you go back on some of our podcasts, Paul, one of the ones I said when I was 16, I got in the men's team. And I'm out there, and we're playing against a team called 279. They were a Dockers team from Canary Wharf. 279. And they're all tattooed. I'm 16, I weighed about £5 at best. That's fuck all with me now. And I'm standing next to this geezer. He said the exact same thing to me. He said, "You go near that ball, I'll break your fucking leg." And you shit yourself, but you can't walk off. You've got to get on with it.
Because, those tackles them there, like we were talking earlier, them tackles there, it might be a ball that came to you, but initially, woof.
You got away with a lot more back then too, in terms of what you could tackle back. We were talking about it off pod over by the bar, just what tackles you could make back in the day.
And that was frightening, but Joe, stuck up for me.
Once the game goes, I mean, you said you shit yourself, but once you're in there, the game's going, you kind of, just got to be careful.
It was Joe that made me, come on, sort him out, stood up for me. No, I didn't mean it. I started again. But that was the only time I received it, so I didn't expect to receive that kind of treatment in the professional football at all.
It sounds like you also, while not only making it as a professional, which is so difficult in its own right, you were also playing a mental game every single game too,
every time,
which is something unique for you, I'm sure.
Every time, man. As I said before, I was in the reserves. I had to prove myself. Don't get me wrong. 7 months to prove, and I was in the reserve. Man in the match, playing on the left, playing on the right, playing a striker. 4 months, and you've been given the shout. You're going to make the most of this.
Yeah.
Crystal Palace.
Yeah.
And that's where it all happened. To receive that, and you just, I was shocked.
I do want to jump back into your Chelsea career a little bit. I want to take you back here. League Cup quarterfinals, 1985. You've got the yellow kit on. You're playing Sheffield Wednesday. They're up 3-0 at halftime. Things aren't looking good. Boss decides to bring on a certain Paul at halftime, and after 11 seconds, you bag. You then go on and score again, and the game ends 4-4. Chelsea remembers it as one of your greatest games, according to them. How was that game for you?
It was
You can crack a smile.
It was
if you want.
supposed
Come on.
to be written, I suppose, because I was meeting my old man for the first time. He lived in Sheffield. I'd been in contact with him, and I thought, look, would you like to come and see me play? And he said, yeah. And that was the first time my old man see me play. So yeah, don't get me wrong. I was sitting down in the dugout thinking, because Sheffield Wednesday were one of the good sides in the second division.
No, they were 3-0 up at half. They were playing well.
Yeah, but it was a case of thinking, well, this, cup game, Milk Cup as it was. And I remember there was a woman right by the dugout, a Sheffield Wednesday fan, giving me sweets every time they scored.
Every time Sheffield Wednesday scored, she would give you, just kind of rub it in a little bit.
I gave me sweets, and I said, yeah.
I'm sure she didn't give you any after
So
the game.
coming up, no, after that. But coming straight on, I think it was Colin who come off down me and Dad Jasper who's on. And
11
that ball,
seconds.
Joe Jones, Kerry Dixon, Dave Speedy, I got him beyond the centre half lines, his name, and hit it first time, went to the right of the keeper, 3-1. After that, trust me, we looked like we could score anyway.
Yeah.
And Kerry, Mickey Thomas, I scored, and it was like a dream come true. 40 was the winner.
Yeah, went up 4-3.
Yeah, don't get me wrong.
I wasn't going to bring up that part. I wanted the happy part.
Then you had replays, didn't you? Or
Yeah,
did you? Yeah.
because that replay was taken back to our, you know what I mean? 'Cause
Yeah.
that was, I missed a sitter in there, but I took the corner that Mickey Thomas got
There
the
you
winner
go.
with. But from that day, after that, we played Watford. Luther Blissett and John Barnes.
Oh, wow.
And I remember I took a tackle and I took Luther and ball out to the ground. I mean, out, bam! And that's when the fans started singing for the first time. Shed in, started singing my name, Canoville, Canoville.
How did that feel?
And it was like, you heard it, but trying to concentrate playing still because...
Is it hard to be like, oh my God, that's
Are
my
they sure
name?
They're sure they're right, yeah? What's wrong with them? And I would have like first half, went in the dugout, went in the changing rooms. I remember Pace, Colin Pace, captain. He said, Ken, did you hear that, man? They were singing your name, man. You're one of us. And I had to tell Colin, man, but Colin, I've always been one of you. You know what I mean? And
That's beautiful.
yeah, from there it was, that was the time
That's so cool
fucked
that
up.
you, when we talked about when your debut at Crystal Palace from there, and you've always felt one of Chelsea, obviously, since then, but for the fans to finally come around in that Watford game, like you just said, and singing your name, I think that's so beautiful what you just said, is you're one of us, and you respond with, but I've always been. I think that's
funny.
so beautiful to see the different perspective on everything from
when
different
you
people.
said that, because I went Crystal Palace just for a couple of months ago when we played. We beat 3-1 just there.
At Selhurst Park?
Selhurst. First time I've been there for 4 years since I returned and since that game.
How was it to go back?
I was kind of nervous
Yeah?
because looked at the coming up to the ground, see where it is. It's right by the Sainsbury's supermarket. I said, damn, I was there. Bloody hell. And I went, a guy invited us and was in the box, and it's like, wow, 4 years. Caught up with Vince Hilaire, and Vince Hilaire was, in my era, and he said, Candace, how you doing? And it's good to see him, because Vince was a very good player. I mean, who did they have for a manager?
Who, Palace?
Yeah.
When, you mean when you played? Or?
Yeah, he was in Terry Venables.
Really? Oh, was he?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, he's a big, and he was
passed away
manager of
recently,
England. I know,
didn't he?
manager of England. Oh, come on, man, there's some
But I
players
used to
down
watch
there.
him when I was Chelsea. I was Barry Bridges, Terry
Yeah,
Daniel,
Terry,
Chopper
that's what I'm
Harris,
saying. That's
Marvin,
what I
and
heard
John
of these
O'Lindsay's
players.
just passed away.
Thank you.
Benetti went a while ago.
Yeah, I've heard of all these players, and there I've been playing with them.
Yeah.
Yeah, John O'Lindsay, he's a great professional, don't get me wrong.
He used to like down half as well, John O'Lindsay. He was had a good
beautiful
character.
Very nice guy he was, don't get me wrong. But yeah, it was, to come back there, it was,
Full circle, really?
it was a difficult
40 years have
one.
gone quick, innit?
You know what, I can't believe when they reminded me it's been 40 years, Kenneth. And I'm thinking, seriously? And I realised my age, and I'm thinking...
You'll get one day. I mean, when I hit 40, Everyone's going the big 4. It didn't mean fuck all to me, and it didn't. But when I hit 50, since 50 onwards, it's just flying, fucking flying by. I'm going to be dead in about a week's time, I guarantee you.
Well, I hope not. We got more episodes to record.
You can come.
We got more to record.
You can come and slag me off. Yeah,
you gotta watch the semi-finals. You still gotta play City. You gotta live through that FA Cup run.
We got that, but yeah, it's like you said.
It does go quick. People used to say that to me, and you fuck it. But
speaking about taking life and how fast it goes and everything, I want to move on past the Chelsea years. Obviously, you went to Reading for a bit, and then the injury basically ended the career, unfortunately. But I want to talk about moving on, and we talk about how life flies and how important it is. And I want to talk about how your battle with cancer. And how you overcame that, because I feel like after all the trials and tribulations of your professional career, to be fought with another battle like that and still keep fighting and to win, how important that is and how incredible it is, truly.
Definitely was my highs and lows. Highs being at Chelsea, being a professional at Reading, and the lows was not just the injury. The lows was my mental health, depression, the denial, the drugs, the cancer. And when knowing that I had to retire from Reading because that injury caused it slowed me down, and they weren't renewing the contract, you think, all right, we'll take the money and go and think you won't miss the game. But I was in denial when they told me, "Can you missing it?" I said, I'm all right, but I wasn't all right. I've now got to change life. I've got to find a 9-to-5 job. That was difficult enough. Because now it's 10 to 12, you know how it was, and you had
to switch from a professional footballer to just 9 to 5. That can't be easy.
You're not ready for anything. No apprenticeship,
And also, I mean, for you, as you said, 5 years old, you were living the dream. So to go from that to something else, it must have been incredibly taxing. But I want to talk about how important Chelsea was. I have a quote here. It says, "The love I have for the club is hard to put into words. It became such a big part of my life that at one stage when I was going through my toughest challenge with my health, it was the only thing that kept me going."
It was. And it was difficult.
So can you talk about what Chelsea meant to you when you were going? You mentioned Chelsea was your high and all these other battles were your lows. How did everything with Chelsea help you get through those lows, like you touched on?
It's coming out, I didn't even follow how Chelsea were getting on when I was having my tribbles. Drugs played a real part. My addiction, should I say, that took a part of me, and that was tearing me up. I didn't realise how much that was, because I was relying on it. I was letting it control me, and I couldn't take it no more because I wasn't like that. It gave me mood swings. I was arguing. I was disrespectful to my mum, my kids, and they were hurting. I had to do something.
Yeah.
And that's why I went in rehab. And when I went in rehab, it was like I started to follow my club. I said, "Oh my God, what are they doing?" And I was like shocked. Hold on. When I was playing, we was in Division 1. You're back in Division 2?
Yeah, what's going on? Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it was all that noticing. And then whilst I was in that rehab, and it was had cancer. Didn't know. I had pain for 2 weeks. Didn't realise what was going on till I went to the doctor and he told me to go to the hospital. They're operating the next day. Sign the paper. What's wrong? And didn't tell me until finished the operation. You've had cancer. Hodgkinson. What? I'm thinking, all right, well, what's the cure? Yeah, chemo. I'm thinking that's the tablet. Yeah, give me. I'm ready. Has side effects. Well, what are you even talking about? Your hair's going to drop out. You what? Your immune system is low. You're going to get colds. What? And this was a shock. I thought it was like, when you go to the doctor, he gives you, vitamin C's or whatever, tab. That's it for the week. Finish them, make sure 7 days I'm back to normal. Let me tell you something. I took my cancer very lightly. Where the first time I nearly died. And it was a case because I had a cold. Don't get me wrong, after the first episode, I had a bath. The whole of my hair dropped out. I couldn't believe it, in clumps. I rushed to the barbers. I've never been like this now. I've got used to having bald hair. I usually had a afro.
Yeah. I saw pictures of a younger you. You put hair.
So therefore, coming out, I had a cold. honey and lemon, paracetamol, my mum's normal routine.
Get over it.
Get over it. 2 weeks, this cold's not gone. Next thing I woke up, I'm paralysed. I mean, literally could only move my head. I couldn't move nothing else. Been rushed to the hospital. I'm now going in a coma. Stay awake, stay awake. That's all the shout is. I got in there, they just revived me. Now, let me tell you something. The only woman that's ever, and I say cursed me, and told me off is my mum. Nobody else, no disrespect to my mum beaming, nobody can tell me off but my mum.
Yeah.
But this one woman, who was my specialist, she told me, she laid into me, how dare you, I told you how serious this chemo is, and I can't support, da-da-da. And let me tell you something, the reason why I allowed her to tell me off.
Why?
She was a Chelsea supporter. No word of a lie. She was a Chelsea
crazy.
supporter and saw me play. I was stumped. I took everything she said.
Just couldn't even get, not even a word back. Just, yes, ma'am, thank you.
Everything. She don't know. But I did take it lightly. I didn't realise this was serious. Yeah, I've had it 3 times. Jeez. I wouldn't put it on my worst enemy.
That's quite weird, that, because I've paid women to abuse me and slap me and fucking shit. Yeah, it's weird, isn't it?
Come on, and that's the truth. I'm not gonna lie, and it was to come back. I think it was Jubilee at Chelsea then, and they invited me back. My sister contacted them, but I missed the coach, and that was upsetting because the cab driver was late, and I was kind of upset that they didn't wait. Didn't get down to, you know what I mean, because all the players was meeting up and I hadn't seen all these players I played with, Joe McLaughlin, Eddie Noveski, I hadn't seen it for so long because I was in my shit.
Yeah.
When was the last get-together you all had?
Oh man, last 2 years, I think it was. Oh no, was it last year? Last year. And that's the situation we were talking about. We met up, it was so good to see everybody, and they some looked good. Eddie looks great, and you know Eddie was down with oh God, who's the player up front for Chelsea who came from Man United? Hughesy. He's been managing Wales, and so far Eddie's been doing well. Joey's not too well. Mickey Thomas is not too well. But
little fella, wasn't he? Little Welsh.
Mickey, box to box, the boy. You know what I mean? And that boy had a hole in his heart. Don't get me wrong. But yeah, players like that, to see those boys, and don't get me wrong. Understand this. There was a testimonial that was played at Chelsea. I don't know if it was Kerry's or Speedy's, and we was playing Tottenham reserves. And I remember
free win. Yeah,
it was like testimonial, just a game at Stamford Bridge, and I remember I hadn't played football for a long time, and I got the ball, and it's like so quick. I was like, "Damn, what's going on?" He said, "Paul, this game has changed." I had no time to control. I was like, "What the fuck?" Move over to the right, bam! I was like, crossing the ball. He's like, "Wow, Paul, where have I been?" But you know what? It was to me, and the first time I met, and it was, oh my God, Frank Sinclair and Eddie Newton. And I'd seen these guys because I was in hospital when I remember we was in the FA Cup, and I think it was our manager, the black boy with the locks. No, yeah, because Matteo scored the winner, and I was in the hospital at this time, Royal Free, and it's a built cancer area that they built in there, and I had my sister there, and I was making so much noise, and the nurse said, "Shh, to hell with that, man. Chelsea in the final, are you mad?" But
be quiet,
meeting them boys, Eddie and them, and I saw them, and when I come to the ground, they approached me, and I love what they said. They said, "You know what? I want to thank you for what you've done. You made it possible for us to come and play here." And that was them, and I was at awe to meet them. I said, "Boy, these black guys, wow, Eddie Newton." And but they were at awe to meet me.
I have another quote here. It says, "I knew I had unfinished business, and that being part of Chelsea's future as well as its history was my destiny."
Yeah.
Do you feel like you've fulfilled your destiny to an extent?
I'm not. No, I'm still going, and I don't get me wrong. I know we talked about it. Now what's changed that they've given me a suite in my name, and it was great.
The suite that they gave you in 2021.
It's great, don't get me wrong, but it happened after I nearly died again. had a serious illness and major operations, and I had 3, and it was 2 was possible, but the third one they said no, we can't do that. That definitely will be too much for him. And the only reason why they was able to do that is I was in a coma, and I was laying in the bed upright, and I coughed, and when I coughed, the stitching all came open.
Rips.
So when it came open, the doctors were like, there's the opportunity, let's go in.
You have to. Yeah.
That's where they went. And this is what I was told because I was in a coma. Let me tell you something, man. I was woke up out of the coma, I came out, and I saw all these doctors around my bed. I mean, like stampede.
How much does that change how you think about things nowadays?
Yes, definitely.
In everything. I'm sure it does, but how much?
Barry,
100%.
so much.
Yeah.
When I tell you, because they kept telling me, Paul, we didn't expect you to survive. We honestly did not expect you to come out of this. I went, what? What do you mean? And I mean, I was in some pain. I mean,
Yeah.
I can show you. It was right
But you never
there.
know just how much or how bad it was.
Well, let me show you. I've had resilience because anytime you knock me down, I always get up. I always fight to get up. But this time, it took me. The pain took me so bad, I couldn't take no more. And I asked the nurse, please can you call the doctor? Can I ask what for? I said, no, you can't. And the doctor came in, Paul, how can I help? What's wrong? And I told him, Doc, I can't take this no more. Can you do me a favour? He said, what's that? Can you put me to sleep? And I weren't meant sleep.
No, I know what you mean.
I meant,
Yeah.
and he looked at me, Paul, I can't do that. And then I went like, yeah, but Doc, I won't tell nobody. Like, cough. You know what I mean? I'm like,
Yeah.
but that was me trying to tell me to take my life. I've never been weak like that. I've always shut down when people say about they're taking their life. I said, no, don't be a wuss. I really now understand it.
I don't know how to give in. I've had times when I should have given in,
Right.
and I'm glad I've got that. But my brother was the same, and the only reason I'm saying this because you brought up. My brother was the same. He's been in this business with me. My oldest brother, Blue, and a couple of years he took his own life.
Yeah.
He just couldn't take anymore. And you get to a point, if you're not careful, that's why you need to seek help and God knows what else. You can't do it on your own
I think
sometimes.
that I think that it is a sign of not only intelligence but also bravery for men in today's society to be able to go, look, I need to get myself in therapy. Something's wrong. Something's in my head is wrong, and I need to fix it. And I think that in
You said
society,
you went into rehab. Did you
Best
put
thing.
yourself there?
did you put yourself
I
in?
put myself there.
I think
That's right.
again, I think that's a huge sign of not only
it's the
bravery but intelligence
best.
because it's so often.
Yeah, but a lot of people don't recognise it to do that.
Well, not only that, but it's so scrutinized for men in today's society. I feel to look weak and to
Yeah.
look vulnerable,
that is
and I
the
think that
objection
is
there.
such a bad stereotype that men in today's society is, oh, I can't go to therapy because that's a sign of weakness, and men are supposed to be
What's the
strong.
man?
And I don't shit. Be a man.
Exactly.
that's the
Oh, you're
Yeah.
going through
I had
it.
to take
Why would you
that
cry?
shit.
Why would you cry? Toughen up. Get through
And
it.
think about it.
Put some dirt on it,
you're
right?
It
Move
was,
on.
it
I
was
had coaches
crazy.
tell me that when I was hurt growing up. It was like, put some dirt on. I'm like, bro, my leg
You
is
have to be
killing me.
strong, and that was the first initial decision I had to make. And coming out there, for when I went in, this is what it was. So now I had to talk to a therapist, a counsellor. Now,
That's scary.
as my man says, in the Caribbeans, our mum said, never talk about your business to nobody. It stays right here in these 4 walls. And so it's been like that. Anybody come up to me, oh, Paul, you all right, son? And I was, yeah, I'm all right. And I wasn't fucking all right.
No.
But I wouldn't tell
You
you.
lied because that's how you were raised, and again, I think it
Right.
shows bravery to be able to break that wall a little
We've
bit.
always. My mum was a barmaid until in her 70s. She
Right.
worked in the pubs in England, and we've always been in a business where you've got to smile. I might come in here,
Right.
my mum was like that, and you see, they had trouble at home raising
And
4
no-
kids and
come on,
having no
man.
fucking
No
money,
matter
then
what.
going to work. All right,
And
children,
they're
smiling and still
the
like
face
it's
on.
all
But
right.
it was all. Yeah, but you don't tell anybody. You
never,
get-
you never show anyone
No.
inside that door.
No, we never. And that's, for me, it was talking to this counsellor, and I needed to open up. And oh my God, it was the case. I remember the first. He was a white guy. He said, "Oh, right, sit down. How you doing?" I said, "Good." And asking me why am I here, and I went, "Are you fucking for real? This is a rehab. Why do you think I'm here? You know what, mate?
Just
This is
strolled on
not
in, yeah.
working. and I don't know disrespect, I'm not racist, but I don't think you understand where I'm coming from.
Yeah.
I need a black counsellor.
It's a different
So
one.
I was about to walk out. He's like, look, if you walk out, you'll be thrown out there. I sat there for a whole hour, looking at the clock, looking at him, looking at the clock.
Just waiting for it to end.
Damn, went in the room, I said, look, I'm not racist, but I need a black counsellor. Simple as. They did that. Following next week, bam. How you doing, Paul? And I thought, yeah. He asked the same question. Why are you here? Are you fucking for real? I just asked his kid. But
You should have said, you sure you're black?
yeah, but I was like, where they're coming from?
They get a script to start with.
So
or something,
that,
for real.
mate, but this guy, he hit me. And not physically, he hit me. You have trouble with your mum? Do you have trouble with your kids? Yeah. I was like, how dare you talk about my...
And then you realize why you're so defensive, don't
Brother,
you? You realize why you get those
he
questions.
hit me.
Because those questions shouldn't get people riled up, but you realize you have to
he
understand
got
why they get you
everything
there.
coming out of me, man. And when I told her I had a weight on my shoulder, every time I left him, I felt lighter.
Those emotions
It was
can finally be
working
released.
all the way. Where really now is why I feel I'm able to talk to people. I couldn't do this before.
No.
I couldn't go in schools and talk to kids because I was quiet. I was shy, but I was quiet.
But that's what you do now, you do a lot of
But
that.
that's what I do now, and that's because of...
That's what I was gonna say. I want to talk about that. Is that clearly all this emotional weight and stuff coming off your chest and the release and everything. How do you feel that has impacted you to go onto the Paul Canoville Foundation and helping kids? And do you feel like after that therapy, you kind of saw the world in a different way that led you to that?
It was, as you said, from the hospital, from me asking that, I looked to the ceiling, I looked above, and I said, you got me here for a reason, innit? Because I shouldn't be here. And I went from there. It took me another year to get myself back from that. It was a time when COVID was going on.
Yeah.
So that was difficult. And then I went into schools. I was already going in schools anyway, motivational and inspirational speaking. And every teacher said, oh my God, you're amazing. I said, what do you mean? I'm with these kids from 9 to 3. Mm-hmm. You come in for 1 hour and have their attention. Next thing they've asked me, you need to be a TA. And I'm thinking, what's that? Teacher assistant. Yeah. I'm like, no, I ain't got the qualification. You don't need it. I've always thought the teachers had to go and, you know what I mean? Like, no, you don't need it. I've never applied for a job. Brother, how do you think I've applied for a job? You know, a job, left wing, play for,
Good skills, rapid.
I've never had to do that. You just play. This I've had to do a job. I went, bloody hell, man. What school? Oh my God. What exams? Oh my.
But to do that foundation, to go in and talk to some of these kids, because I know even when I haven't coached, but whenever I've coached young kids, it's fucking nice to give back.
No,
it's a nice feeling. I really mean it. I've done it because my coaches were electricians, policemen, fucking carpenters, taxi driver. They were my coaches.
Yeah.
They didn't get a penny. They turned up. They showed their wives used to watch the kid.
Yeah.
You know, and you've got to give back.
Yeah.
You have to.
My
it's
best
so
coach was a teacher.
much joy.
And how much good you
when
do.
when I do my assembly and the whole of the kids, and I because it's the way I do it. I mimic my mum. I mimic my sister. It all relates. But what you miss. What's important was the education. I just didn't want you to lose out on that. As being a footballer, it's not just all about football. And they was like, understand, this is great. And they was listening to me. I'm in the TA, year 3. I've got parents now coming out. I've heard a lot about you, Mr. Canoville. Now, if my child gives you any trouble, you let me know. That's how it was. They're supposed to go to the teacher.
Big man on campus.
They're supposed to go to They're coming to me.
No, you're the enforcer.
Oh man, I was loving it. And by that time as well, I wrote my autobiography, The Black and Blue, and I didn't expect what would have come out from that. It won Best Sports Book of the Year, Sky.
Wow.
Opened a lot of doors. But being at the school, because of my immune system being low, where do I catch colds from?
Oh, your kids, yeah.
Kids.
The kids,
carry on
man.
like crazy.
Oh, knocked me right out. And I mean, I was knocked out for 2 weeks. Where I came back in and the head said, look, Paul, they miss you so much, but the time you take off, we can't do it. And I said, you're right. And I left. But that's what made me decide to start my own foundation. And it was the Paul Canoville Foundation. And don't get me wrong, Simone at the PFA helped me to start it and understand what I wanted to do. And from 2015, it's now built up. It's unbelievable. I've got colleagues that are working with me. We're now talking with schools, bigger than schools, regarding, because the education now want a new system where to teach these kids about the highs and lows, about the football, not just about football, and concerned about the drugs as well. And sometimes they didn't want kids to know about what
they want to protect them.
But now I understand
of
who will approach you. You know what I mean? You could say your friend might come up to you and go, take this, man, it's all right. And there's that ideal. This is what you got to understand. So that's
especially now, because now you can get a tablet from a kid. Probably say, I've got a headache, I've got a tablet. You don't know what that EPL is.
No, I don't know.
That's the first time I've said
dangerous.
EPL. I normally say fuck.
Thank you.
Because it's easy. I'm trying to show respect.
He's really bad at saying fuck words sometimes.
But we're
that's incredible, man.
I think now Chelsea, I'm understanding and working with us as well.
And again, for those viewers out there listening, please go check out the Paul Canoville Foundation.
Man.
It's online, super easy to find.
Definitely,
it's an incredible foundation. They do great things.
We
do need to wrap up, but I do want to. I do have one more thing I want to ask you. In today's game, what player do you see that you're like, that's me. That's me out there.
Somebody asked me that the other day. I haven't seen anybody that can take me.
Oh my days.
I'll be honest, you know. I was an orthodox player. Just get me the ball and go
There's
back.
no one out there that's doing what you were doing.
The person I admire, and when he came here in the same way he left, was Hazard. And Hazard, when he took on a player, that was me. I would take on and head for the box. He was an individual. His finishing was a lot more better than me, because I couldn't finish to save my arse. You know what I mean? I'd knock that ball in somebody else and give him a chance. But that was the only player that I could say.
That's the only one that you see out there.
Pat Nevin was a player I idolised, because he was on one wing.
Did you play with Pat Nevin?
Man. See, what it was for me and Pat, I had the speed, but he had the skill. So he was on one wing and I was on the other.
He does journalism now, doesn't he? He was with Chelsea more, but he's doing. I read him a lot of times.
He's a very bright lad, and he's done his autobiography. I mean, we've roomed up, so enough times. But he's patron to my foundation as well, so
that's awesome,
got quite a few. But the
question I want to ask you, and you've probably been asked it a million times, who was the player you hated to play against?
I didn't hate, but there was a player
or the dirtiest against
I thought I could, because I was quick. And I just thought nobody can outrun me. But a boy that is white, Trevor Stevens of Everton. Do you remember the right back? Both of them. There was both two Trevors there. One playing the wing.
England,
both of them. And boy, when I tell you I was running and this guy was still on my shoulder, you couldn't. My head was going like.
You were shocked. Like, what do
you think you're doing, man?
What are you still doing here? I should be gone.
Bro,
you should be well behind me.
He was a quick white boy. That's what I was saying. So, he gave me out down at Everton. But that's when Chelsea was.
It's weird because when I used to play, and sometimes I used to play midfield, and sometimes if ever I've come up and I've got a black, when you get older, they put you right back. I'm surprised.
I love that.
They put you in, you can do less damage as you get older.
Yeah, but it never made sense because they put me right back when I got older. And I'm facing some black winger.
Who's quicker?
He's quicker than you.
Don't put me right back. I mean, fuck me. I'm facing the fastest geezer on their team.
If you've done your homework, then you would have heard that I used to be a centre half. You couldn't get past me.
It's common that a lot of attackers start as centre halves too in today's game.
They could not. I
just bossed it.
I let you run and still catch you. But what it was, I used to get the ball, and there was nobody available to pass. So I dribbled all the way to the box. And the manager said, a person that dribbles like that has to be in their own half.
It's wasting. You're wasting that potential.
That's why they moved me to the left wing.
Man, I love that. Well, Paul, thank you again for coming on today, man, and taking your time, and also just being so open with your journey. Again, everyone that's listening, please check out his foundation. It's terrific, Paul. Thank you again for your stories, sharing them, answering our questions, and the book.
I've read the book.
Yes, check out his book.
Black and Blue.
Book. Yeah, I need to. I finished
Black and Blue. Read that.
Not many long words in it, which I was happy with.
That's why Barry could read it.
Words like that.
And that'll do it for our interview with Paul. Thank you again to him for coming out, being so open, and talking about such important topics with us. Again, I want to just re-emphasize the importance that we care about for men's mental health in general. And I love that he talked about that on his journey and everything, and just how open he was with us. So thank you again to Paul for all of that. Barry, it's just us. Let's get into some stories, right? Let's get a little story time for the audience, we do have to do Wanker of the Week, too. We do have to finish with that.
Well, fucking Luton can have that one. But... So we hear certain phrases, and there's one of them, I can't remember them, so I wrote them down. Where's my pad?
I literally offered it to you before we walked in here, and you told me no.
Okay, when you get someone, when someone's been drinking,
yeah,
and they've fallen, they've stopped drinking, and they've gone back to drinking again, they've fallen off the wagon.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
Well, what that is, it used to be when the condemned prisoners used to be in a horse and cart, and they were taken out to Tyburn, which was hours away from London, although it's probably about 30 minutes nowadays. They would be going to Tyburn, and halfway there, the drivers, coachman, they'd get out and have a drink and something to eat, and, hey, can I buy the prisoner a drink? The condemned prisoner a drink? No, he's on the wagon. Though when you come off the wagon,
you're off the wagon.
You can have you're off the wagon. That's where that comes from. And the other one that actually is, when you get a group of people, a bit like you two always around me, hangers on.
Yeah, of course.
You ever heard of that? Hangers on? Yeah.
Sure.
That was when at Tyburn, when someone was hung, when they'd gone through there, relatives would pay someone to grab their legs and pull them, and they hang on to them to kill them quicker. And that was a job. It was a hangers-on, but their relatives used to pay it so their loved ones would die quicker.
That is, like, weirdly sweet, I guess, in a way, to, like, make the pain less suffering quicker. Yeah. Did not know that Cockney slang was coming on the show tonight, though, but I like it.
Found a job I could do. I can do that job.
All right, Wanker of the Week. You're giving it to Luton.
No more said.
I'm giving it to Porto's manager for coming out and saying Arteta insulted his family. When he has a track record, he said that against Pep, and he said that against Tuchel. I think he's the boy who cried wolf. I think it's a joke, and I hope he cries his entire flight back to Portugal.
I think Arteta insults everyone walking around with that fucking haircut.
It's perfect. You don't know. We won't take that. We're not ending on that. You don't get to insult my manager's hair. It's perfect. You wish you had that hair. You're dreaming.